at least. But you can't see 15 steps ahead. You can't see 45 steps ahead. You can only see what's directly in front of you, which forces you to pay more attention to that present moment to make sure that you're not stepping on the wrong things or going the wrong way. So in darkness, we are able to isolate our focus on specific things that we need to be dealing with, that we need to be releasing, that we need to be fixing, that we need to be tuning into. And when we have too much light around us, if somebody shines a light directly in your eyes, it'll blind you. You can't look directly at light. If it's too much light that you're intaking, it will blind you. And this is why we have to have that balance where you have dark experiences, which are not bad things. Like she said, everything that has been equated to darkness has always been given to us as a bad thing. Dark magic, black magic, they call it witchcraft, okay? And even that is not a negative thing. It's just something that y'all hear and was passed around church, and you took the word and you ran with it. All of these things have always been equated to some type of evil, some type of negativity, and it really has nothing to do with that. It's more so about transformative energy, and in order to transform, sometimes you have to die. Death is dark. When you are dying, you go through a dark period. Even when you go to sleep.
Hold it. I'm gonna rewind you back, cause I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is a piece I really want y'all to get a pen and a piece of paper. And when she is pay very close attention to my good sis as she is telling you about death.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is this is the piece. It's working, sis. It's on.
Okay, good.
This is the piece that y'all need. When I say this gem she about to give y'all, it's really the key to after the solar eclipse just took place and the old world just left, because that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
When she's going over this, I need y'all really, really, really to pay close attention when she's going over this death version, because she finna get into something so deep about the darkness of death so you can understand it. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, sir.
Yeah. So darkness, if you think about death, right? Death is Scorpio energy. If you think about Scorpio, Scorpio is ruled by, if I'm not mistaken, Jupiter. I could be wrong. Could be Uranus. One of them. I'm sorry, Pluto. Thank you, Spirit. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Pluto is the transformative planet. Now, one thing about Pluto that is very important to understand is Pluto is also the slowest moving planet. So, this is letting you know that number one, transformation is not a fast paced thing. You have all of these other planets and energies that move very quickly, but transformation has to take time. So, being in a period of darkness has to take time in order to produce solid light. So, when we're going through a death phase, that's the period of darkness, right? When the body is detaching from the soul, they call it cutting the silver thread. Okay, if you watch Hercules and you seen the three witches and they was cutting the
I
hair
love that
cord,
movie.
that is my favorite. When I say word for word, bar for bar, that's my movie, right? When they cut that silver cord, they are disconnecting the soul from the body. When the soul is disconnected from the body, you have to go through a death phase, which is darkness. So when you close your eyes in death, right? And even if you don't close your eyes in death, there's a period of darkness that you experience before you wake up to light, before you go back to being in a light position or having light around you. Even when you go to sleep, right? They say sleep is the cousin of death because that's the closest you will get to being in that position. When you go to sleep, the only way you can go into a sleep period is to close your eyes and go through a dark period first. Before you can awaken on the other side and be in the astral realm and be free and be powerful and all of these different things, you have to first go through a dark period in order to get to this light period. In this darkness is when everything is happening, right? The light is a product of the darkness. So you have to go through darkness in order to create and cultivate yourself, your soul, and then show up as the product, which is the light. There is no light without the transformation or transformative period of darkness. You gotta go through that period. Like my sis said, when you go through a tunnel, you gotta go through the tunnel. The tunnel is the longest part. When you cross the threshold into light, that's quick, that's easy, that takes no time. But that tunnel period, you could be in a tunnel for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on where you at and what tunnel you going through. It just really depends. But when you come out of that period and you get into light, that's a very fast thing. It don't take no time. That's milliseconds. But the period that you go through with this darkness is where you're learning. That's where you're releasing. That's where you are understanding who you are. That's when you're stepping into confidence, right? And you may be like, is confidence a dark thing? No, right? But dark energy is power, and confidence is power. So when you think of darkness, think of power, right? You can use power for good or you can use power for bad. It's all in whose hands it is in and the intentions behind that person. So it's just like a super, let's take Spider-Man. When Spider-Man first got big, let's say he, there's been multiple Spider-Man series, movies, and things of that nature. The first one, he started off real slow trying to figure out how to use his gift. He was falling off the wall and shit and all of that. That was a dark period for him, right? Because he was trying to figure out how to use his gift. He had to also go through acceptance of the fact that this is my new gift. I can't get rid of this shit. So there's a period of acceptance that you even go through when it comes to that dark phase, to be like, okay, I am where I am. I am who I am in this moment. Does that mean that I have to continue to be this person? Absolutely not. But what it does mean is this is the reality of where I am and I need to do something about it. Then I can figure out if I want to make this a positive experience through darkness or a negative experience through darkness. It's all my choice. So we look at the second, if I'm not mistaken, the second Spider-Man, when he put on the black. His whole body was black. The little thing made a whole suit. And now he's in this whole black era. It's affecting his energy. Now he's getting a little bit more spicy than usual. Now, he's getting into certain things that he wouldn't normally get into. Or it's becoming more problematic. He's become more problematic as a quote unquote superhero. So once he took that black off, or while he was in that black stage, he was learning all of these different things. He was learning his powers now because they have upgraded. He was learning how to navigate relationships around him in that movie. All of these different things was happening all while the world is crashing and burning. And he has to be Captain Save all the hoes and the men. Okay, the sluts and the hoes. All right. So he got a whole lot going on. And once he gets out of this black phase, he levels up. He's a whole different version of Spider-Man than he was when we first seen him in the first version and when we first see him in the beginning of the same movie. Because this dark period transformed him in so many different ways and cultivated him to be who he truly is. It awakened something within him that kind of showed him like, okay, you don't always have to necessarily be good, but you need to know how to balance out the other energies, which we identify as dark. So when it comes to darkness, and darkness can show up in so many different ways. It can be accountability, which is something so simple that we all seem to, want to jump over. Don't nobody want to be accountable no more. But sometimes accountability can take you through a dark period where you're going through a transformation, because now I know I'm the problem. I'm the drama, and not in a good way. This is not a good Netflix special. Cancel it immediately because this is the problem. So much going on. Discontinue. Okay? No more with the series. Right? And you can go through this period where you learn so much about yourself by taking accountability. Because when you do take accountability, you pinpoint the issue. You diagnose yourself when you take accountability. Oh, I did that. So if I did that, I need to be the one to change it, because all I have control over is me. I can't control what this person does. I can't control what that person does. But I know that if I don't do that again, if I don't do that again, I won't end up in this situation, whether they do or don't. That don't got nothing to do with me, right? So going through these different dark phases, whether that is your spiritual awakening, that shit was dark as hell. Sometimes it's still dark in all of the ways you could think of. And that's a whole lesson within itself. It's understanding that this whole side of light and love it don't always feel light and love over here. But does that mean that you are doing something wrong? No. Does that mean that you are going or headed in the wrong direction? Absolutely not. If anything, when your world starts getting all messed up and pulled apart and you don't know which way is up and down, that usually means good job. That means you're in a new environment, new territory. When you don't recognize where you are, that means this space is new. And we don't think like that, right? We see it as darkness. Again, it's perspective. Darkness is nothing more but, perspective. So you may see it and be like, oh my God, I'm in this new territory. I don't know what's going on around me. I must be messing up. I must be doing something wrong. Oh, I need, my spirit team must be mad at me. When for real, you're in a
somebody done put a hex on me. Somebody got something on me.
Do anybody know how to remove a root? Do anybody practice voodoo or hoodoo? So I need help. My finances is all crazy. My life is all crazy. I got fired and I had to move and these people left me. Well, you said you didn't like that job and you got fired. You had to move and you was going through it with your landlord.
About that person, so you had to leave their relationship.
You and your landlord was going back and forth and money was missing and you got evicted and you mad. You got wrongfully evicted. It sounds like a lawsuit to me. Perspective. Darkness teaches us perspective because eventually you get tired of shit just being dark and you seek light and you realize the only way out is through. I can't go back because who wants to do that? Don't nobody want to go back there. A lot of us have enough sense to know we don't want to go backwards, but we can't stay stagnant either because if you're not moving, you losing too. So what do? You realize, okay, I can see the light in the distance. It's not close. It's not right in front of me, but it's in the distance. And I know that if I continue to walk through the darkness, eventually I have to exit into light. So you force yourself to go through it. And that's why we call it enlightenment. When you're going through spiritual awakening, it's called enlightenment for a reason. Because that light, that inner light, is guiding you through this dark phase of transformation and lessons and challenges. And all based on your perspective is how this journey is going to go for you. It's either going to be one of those ones that you appreciate. Like me and sis talk about all the time. We're like, damn, spirit got on my ass today, but I needed that. Cause I was tripping. I was over here doing this and that, and I was, worried and stressed out. And spirit had to check me. Spirit had to check me on this and check me on that. Sometimes we gotta be hard headed. Our intuition to say do one thing. Oh, we don't listen to our intuition sometimes too. Don't get it mistaken.
Right.
Don't get it mistaken. We all have challenges that we go through on this journey. But again, it's all about perspective. We've been on our journey long enough to know that challenges aren't negative, that dark moments aren't negative, that going through certain transformative periods doesn't mean that I'm failing or doing something wrong. But that took us continuously pushing forward when there was no light in sight in front of us. And all you had was faith and heart and inner knowing, and you just had to hold on to that, and a couple little signs that your spirit team sends you, little 222 flash, little 111 flash over here.
What is you saying?
What does this mean? I don't know.
I seen a girl say on TikTok, if y'all don't quit asking people what these numbers mean, to use Google.
Or how about an intuition? Because you could see the same damn number and it will not mean the same thing for everybody. My
Mm-mm.
111 ain't her 111. My 222
Mm-mm.
ain't her 222. I usually tell people when you see an angel number, what are you thinking in that moment? What is your intuition saying to you in that moment? Take it for that. Or just use it as a signal that whatever is going on.
Cause like for me, like people like it's 11:11, make a wish. Spirit is basically telling me I need to pay a damn attention.
And see, that's different for me.
Yeah, like for me, I be like spirit, like hey, and I go, I just want to remind you on the right track, and then they just like, and I'm like, pay attention, pay attention that I am, pay attention that I am letting you know you're moving correctly. 111 for me is listen to yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
know, listen to your intuition. Pay attention to your temple.
Yeah.
Take yourself to
Mine
church.
watch your thoughts because they manifesting fast. So get
Good or
right.
bad.
Get right.
Good or bad.
We're like, oh.
So I'm gonna go back to somebody asked, or since you want me to wait.
Go ahead. If you ready, we can go. Was it the examples? Or
So
what does it mean?
basically, as y'all know, me and my good sis are both PKs. Okay. We come from reverends, pastors, etc., etc. We just feel it. We just take it over. Now, when we talk about walking in the dark, and both of y'all questions are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
What are examples of darkness? When we think about church, it's the same thing as when somebody say trials and tribulations. It's the same thing.
That part.
Trials and tribulations. So y'all know it wouldn't be right if I didn't give y'all the etymology of something. Trials and tribulations, according to Google, which we gonna trust Google for what Google gonna do, what somebody done uploaded. So take what resonates, leave what does not. Trials and tribulations, difficult experiences, problems. The trials and tribulations of life is an inevitable part of life's journey. If we go a little further, and someone even asks, what are synonyms of tribulations? We got pains, distresses, agonies, misery, anguishes, torments, woes, tortures, etc. Now, why would these words be connected to tribulations? Because how you can look at it is this is a tribute to things that need to go. While they may be painful, aggravating, annoying, these are what our grandma and our grandpa used to call as growing pains. When your brother or your little cousin, he said his knees and his legs was hurting and his shoulders was hurting, his elbows hurting. Your grandma said, you ain't doing nothing, going through growing pains.
That's it. Go to sleep.
That's all. Darkness is literally, I don't want to say it like this, but I'm going to word it as easily as I can in spirit. I thank you so much for guiding me. Walking and dancing in the dark and examples of darkness are typically things that you would think you dislike about yourself. Emphasis on think, because you may be like, I love that about myself, but really it ain't no good for you. It's almost like a drug addict. I hate to do it,
Catch that tea.
but I gotta do it. Like if I don't, I'm gonna go into a coma. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. So Examples of darkness, like sis said, one is accountability. People hate to hear the truth. People hate to take ownership. But when you practice that and you get that spiritual boost, it's kind of like, that wasn't too bad. And because I took accountability, I now can see where I'm growing, and I attract other people who take accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Another one could be self-sabotaging. Negative self-talk. You tried to do this last time, it didn't even work out. Oh, look at your stomach in that dress. You done lost it, girl. You don't even look the same. You too dumb to do that. Ain't nobody gonna listen to you in this meeting. Look at you. Out there buying a purse. You don't do, what have you done to deserve that purse? Put that shit back. It is that moment when you're sitting in the dark, and those are the things that you took away. Almost like a closet. When you get inside that closet, you turn the closet light on in the hallway with a coat set, and you ain't been in there in I don't know how long. It's dust and moss everywhere. And you like, I need to clean this out. That's all it is. Trials and tribulations. Things that make you go, things that increase your anxiety. Things that have you tossing and turning in your sleep. Things that torment you. Lack. Scarcity. Anger. Some of y'all are mean girls.
I was one.
Me too.
I don't know why people don't want to talk about it. We always want to talk about everybody else being a mean girl. I was a mean girl and very hurt little girl on the inside.
And it's like though that's your darkness. And when you are walking and dancing in the dark, that's simply just saying you on a journey, on your spiritual journey. You welcome, baby. You're on your spiritual journey. That you're putting motion and action behind your words and your goals to change. You could say you want to change, but the dancing part and the walking part is actually putting one foot forward and you just keep going. When you stumble across or you make a mistake, you ain't sitting up there doing the whole little I feel so bad. I'm so ashamed. No, you know what? I ain't been out in a long time, y'all. I did go out and I did dance to that song. What song? Sexy Red. And my dress was flying up. Well, so why you sad about that? Because I've been doing so good. Now you in the bed depressed and embarrassed. Huh? This is a marathon.
That part.
It takes time. Trial and error. Trials and tribulation.
The only way you learn.
That's the only way you learn it. Like my good sis said, when we are in the light part of it, the light, like she said, is a product of the darkness. It's the same as a flashlight. What do you have to do when you first get a flashlight? Do it just stay on all the time? Or you gotta put them big batteries down in the twist it, shake it a little bit, click, hit that button. So your darkness is the batteries, it's the wiring in there, it's a little plastic case that go over the front. Even if we talking about the house. The grading company, the construction company, the person who conduct the surveys, the person who deliver the lumber, that's the darkness. It's the builder.
Let them not take their time building your foundation on your house. Let them not take their time. Regardless of how much time it takes, that foundation, I don't care how long it takes, to make sure it's right before you put any plaster, wood, anything up. I need to make sure that the foundation of this house can keep me no matter what storm or trials or tribulations, like she said, may present itself. And only in the darkness do I know how to fight, because you only learn from experience. If I don't have no experience and it's just light all fucking day, I'm not learning nothing. And when things come to me, it's gonna get me. I'm done. First round knockout. It's not gonna take me no time because I haven't built up any. For example, vaccines, right? Let's talk about snake quote unquote vaccines or medicines, right? When you get bit by a snake, they give you the venom. They give you the venom. They give you more venom of that same snake in order to heal the body so that your white blood cells and your immune system can understand and learn what this is and be able to fight it. So when you go through your dark stage, spirit is literally giving you the venom in small doses that you need for the road ahead. Because remember, spirit is preparing us for the road. Everything we are doing in the moment counts toward the whole journey. So what you do at level 6 is how you get to level 70. You can't skip level 6 and only prioritize level 70. That's not how that works. And everything that you learn between 6 and 70 is how you get to 80 and 100. You have to go through that period and learn those lessons so that you're able to take something from it and be able to elevate. Now, every period of elevation, every new level comes with its own new challenges. And a lot of times what we think is, oh, I'm clear now. Things are getting back to normal. I'm finding my footing again. Things are making sense. And then slowly but surely, you get it's new territory. I don't know what I'm doing. And in our head, we're like, oh, I'm messing up. Oh, I messed up. I just made it through this past challenge, and now it's something else. I'm obviously doing something wrong. No, babe, you leveled up. New level, new devil. We hear that all the time. Every level has its own set of players. Like my good sister said, she played a game. Every level you go to, there's a different challenge that helps you move on to the next level. And the things that you learn in those specific challenges, you need it in the next level. If she was to skip a level, she would be ill prepared. And it would end up, going in a way she didn't expect for it to go. So that dark period gives you the education that you need for the journey. And sometimes, again, perspective is the difference between seeing it the right way and taking advantage of it, or feeling like you're being attacked and making it super, super overly personal and, oh, the universe don't like me. I just can't never get it right. Like she said, start with all that negativity. Now you're feeding yourself bullshit. And what you're doing is you're dropping lower and lower and lower and lower. But eventually, when you hit rock bottom, you go to the bottom of the ocean. It's dark as hell down there. It's also some creatures you ain't never seen in your life. Life that you have never seen, plants you have never seen, animals you never seen, things not discovered are at the bottom of the fucking ocean. And the only way you can get those things and see those new discoveries and be the one to say, hey, I discovered something new, is to go to the deepest part of the ocean, which is super, super dark and black. So everything that holds power and new things and, adventures and, new doors and opportunities always starts off dark. It always starts off in darkness. You never just gonna get light handed to you, because that would do you a disservice. That's that silver spoon type of mentality. If your whole life was a silver spoon, when do you learn? How do you know to navigate life? How do you know to navigate challenges? You don't. Now you're just out here looking crazy.
And she said, what benefits does this bring to relationships, such as with a mate or with a good girlfriend? So, when it comes to dancing in the darkness, a part of that is you learning yourself. A lot of times we avoid our darkness, and then we want to impose judgment on other people's. When really all you did was manifest your darkness into another vessel until you faced it. You literally kept manifesting the same. That's why a lot of people end up in the same relationship with the same type of friends. All your friends, you the person who all your friends are turned on you and stuff like that, because something in them is you. And you're manifesting that energy back into it. And of course, when you see it, you try to, you don't like that dance.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do the waltz. You don't want to tango. You want to tango. You don't want salsa. But spirit keep bringing you all these different things. So this has the best benefit of attracting better relationships,
Mm-hmm.
attracting better mates, better girlfriends, attracting better work environments, attracting better with your children,
Mm-hmm.
accepting when something is not what it needs to be, and detaching and moving on. When you see your darkness and you dance in your darkness, the benefit of that is I know what it looks like, so I'm extending myself grace, and then I can extend somebody else grace. But I'm so attached to me, I'm detached from you. So what you're going through, I'm not taking it personal. So now we can have a healthy relationship, because I'm not putting the expectations of you. I'm not putting the expectations that I have on you, because until I dance and walk in the dark, everything I put on you is a lie. It's bullshit. How am I set expectations for you when I'm not following through? How am I doing all these things and I'm not doing it myself? I want you to be the friend that show up for me and there for me and listen to me and da 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 da. I don't do that to myself. Every time something wrong with me, I disregard it and tell me I need to grow up. So now you see, beloved, how this benefits relationships. When you take care of yourself and you embrace your darkness, you understand. You don't say that cocky. You say that confident.
No, yeah, you do.
You don't say they ignoring you. You say, oh, they're taking time with themselves.
I'm here for it. I hope you guys can love that in darkness. Absolutely. All right. Any other questions? Feel free to comment before we close out. Let me just make sure we've answered everything. Sis, what are some tips that you would give them to start embracing their darkness? Tips for beginners to start this process.
Tips for beginners. I'm an author, as y'all know. So, sis, um, tips for beginners, I would say, would be get to writing, not typing, writing, making a pros and cons list of certain situations. But
Mm-hmm.
also, I highly recommend mirror work. I highly recommend cutting off the TV or muting it. I say power it off completely. Leave your phone in your bedroom. Go to the bathroom and look directly in the mirror for 60 seconds, starting off every single day. 60 seconds. That's 1 minute. What that will do is the mirror will pull on the truth that's being shown. And that will encourage you to sit in your darkness. That will encourage you to embrace it. Writing writing yourself letters and being free with it, not showing it to anybody. You don't show it to nobody. Write yourself a letter. Empress A, why did you do that dumb shit today? Why did you yell at that person at the red light? Oh my God, you made me think of you. You made me think of mama. Do you remember that time? Like, write those letters. When you're writing those letters to yourself, what that does is that's like a mirror work in writing is like double magic. Because not only are you releasing, you're acknowledging. And
Mm-hmm.
going back to what my good sister said, you're taking accountability.
Period.
Accountability don't mean that you got to stand in front of 100 people and say what you did. It means that you simply acknowledge with your spirit council, this is the behaviors that I possess that I do not like. and then you move forward.
And don't y'all listen to all that and then not do it now. The whole point is to do it. You don't just be giving out these tips for you to just hear it. Just like, oh, okay, that's nice. You gotta do it.
That's cool.
That sounds like a good idea. I'll do that next week. No, do it tonight. 60 seconds.
You gonna be laying in the bed anyway.
You can take 60 seconds out of your day. You're not doing it.
Set your timer on 60 seconds and start writing those deep, dark secrets. Write one every day, deep, dark secrets that don't nobody know about you.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about write them down to the point where it's like fellas, when I was in college, I had a gay experience.
Detail for detail.
Detail. His name was such and such. It happened this way, happened that way, happened that way. I feel like less of a man, no, I didn't like it, or yes, I liked it. That's something I said. Like, you'll start to realize, like, oh, ladies, you know, when I was coming to my best friend Sasha was she looked so pretty, and it was a rumor that got started about her about prom. I'm the one who started the rumor because I really was jealous that he went to prom with her and he didn't go with me. Accountability. What'll happen is once you start saying it, once you start reading it, you may cry, you may yell, you may shout, but guess what you're gonna do? Hey, if you still cool with these people, I want to apologize for everything that I've done to you that has made you feel less than. And they'll be like, what are you talking about? But it's not for them, it's for you. It's for you to say, I did it. I released it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say triggers. Start figuring out what your triggers are. A lot of us walking around like ticking time bombs, and we don't even know what ticks us off because we have been so disconnected from ourselves and just been on autopilot that we don't even know what's wrong with us, what we don't like, what we would want around us, what we don't want. We don't know anything. And the people in our lives are not responsible for our triggers the first time they trigger us, because especially we ain't say nothing. Now, if people are coming into your life and you're not letting them know, hey, I got a little problem when people yell at me, so I ask that you not do that. That's your responsibility to communicate that. And when we don't communicate people on our triggers, we end up triggered. We end up further back and behind than when we were because we are reactive. And anything that is easily reactive is dangerous. So, in order to defuse these bombs that are hiding in the depths of our soul in these dark places, we need to sit down and figure out, okay, what triggers me? What makes me upset? It could be anything. For me, when I first started, it was very surface level. I have road rage. Real bad. I can't stand no slow driver. I can't stand traffic. I can't stand stupid driving people. Road rage was incredible to the point I was the type that'd just blow the horn and just hold it because you're pissing me off. Okay. And I want you to know that you piss me off. And a part of that is like, okay. But that's dangerous. People shooting people now and all types of crazy ass shit just because of road rage and you don't know what's going on with other people. And you, at this point, you could be playing with your life. So when I first started, that was something that was very surface level, but it was connected to so many other things. I didn't realize that the issue wasn't road rage. The issue was anger. Why was I angry? Because I wasn't getting what I wanted. Even if that was just me being in the car and there's traffic. Ooh, I'm mad. I'm not getting what I want. So now I'm going to take it out in however way I know how to take it out in. Okay, cool. But where did I get that from? That came from being a child who didn't feel heard, who didn't feel seen, who couldn't speak up for themselves, who, was ostracized or abandoned by a parent and just started to take everything inward, not telling nobody what's going on with you, being very secretive, very private, very mysterious in energy, suffering in silence and not saying anything. And that turns into anger. They say hurt is nothing but, anger is nothing but hurt that hasn't been dealt with. So when you are sitting there with so much hurt, that anger or those feelings and emotions are going to come out in so many different ways, shapes, and forms. And you don't even know what it's attached to until you literally go to what I call the root and figure out where is this stemming from. Mm-hmm. Usually it's childhood or something that may have happened in your teenage years or while you were crossing into adulthood, because those were your foundational building years. Those were your dark periods. If a lot of us think about our childhood, that was a dark period of life. That shit wasn't easy. All the things that we had to live through, the generational curses we didn't ask for, people treating us all types of ways, the black sheep. Okay, they made us think the black sheep was the wrong person. The black sheep is the
Oh,
unique person. That's the
oh
person
my
that's standing
God.
out. That's the person that's the most powerful. That's the person that's here, the chosen
Listen,
one, and here to heal everybody.
you know what's crazy? I just had this conversation. This might be run off because we about to wrap up.
Hmm.
My homegirl, we were talking. One of my soul sisters. We out, and one of the things that came up was colorism.
Mm.
And I said, well, you know, I never thought that was an issue. That's a topic. If you see me on social media, I don't really get into it.
Right.
And I'm just like, this is me taking ownership and me being honest.
So,
And my homegirl is like mahogany. When I tell you that mug is beautiful, I'm talking about deep chocolate, beautiful, glistening skin. All she gonna do is put some lashes on and put some brows on it. And when the sun hit her skin, I mean, she is chocolate. And she said, "No, it's very real, sis." And I said, "But why would somebody? I think brown skin women are beautiful. What? But that's me." And
right.
she was looking like, "No, it's easier for you." And I said, "What's easier for me? I don't understand." And she was giving me the examples, and I have 3 children who are the same shade as a cocoa bean. And then I have 3 that are the same color as a beautiful caramel. And I was like, I'm always telling them how beautiful they are. Like, is this a problem?
Mm.
Like, is this? And so she's breaking things down and giving examples. And I said, well, that's crazy because that's just like anything that's black. And I said, I'm not trying to confuse, like insult you by consulting with animals or referencing animals. I'm an animal lover. I'm the person that all the dogs run up to me and the cats, and I'm hugging the animals and all that. That's me. So when you said black sheep, the example I gave her was, I said, when you are looking at a herd and you see a black sheep, you like this, oh my God, it's beautiful. Look at it, look at the coat.
Right.
It's so silky. I mean, hell, we all look alike. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh my God, it's so freaking beautiful. Look at it. Look at it. Look at that. Look. Oh, this wool lasts longer. Oh no, you can't have my black sheep. This is priceless. You can't have this one. So then, when you think about dogs, you see somebody with a cane corso. They can have a marble cane corso. You'll be like, what is it? A mud? You let them walk through with a jet black cane corso with them ears clipped and that coat glistening because they've been giving that baby some coconut oil.
We love
You,
all black cars, black on black. That's luxury.
listen. I'm telling you. So I told her, I said, when you think about the president, even though the president is an actor, they put the president in black luxury.
Luxury.
And she was like, this. I said, so when we think about attire and we think about black tie events, that's some exclusive shit.
Mm-hmm.
When we think about putting that shit on,
That's
you got your black sexy dress. When we think about the little black phone book that your grandma had, it had all the important valuable numbers in there. Whoever you need to get in contact with, it was with it. When we think about dancing in the sun versus dancing in the moonlight, we find dancing in the moonlight more romantic. So for me, like sis said, like it go there. It really like it really goes there. And I literally was having this conversation and my mom was blown with her. But when I put it like that, she was like, But you just love like black people. Like you like I when I think about dark skinned women, I think about the mother. You know what I mean? Like I think about because when I think of the moon, I think of Grandmother Moon as just her eye. I think of like the dark skies is like her skin and the stars glistening.
Yeah, they
Or
call
like
it
the highlight, like her
black
pores.
goo.
Like that's crazy. You brought that up, and we just got to me and her literally just had this conversation.
To
And
throw it
she was
to
like,
the
"Nah,
back.
that's crazy."
And the only time you can see light is when it's up against something that's dark. Light can't exist without darkness.
Need some sun, y'all.
That's the only way you can see it. You gotta have dark first. Dark is creation. Dark is where we all come from. If you think about a birth canal, you going through a dark tunnel and coming out into light. That's really why the babies be screaming, "Where the hell am I? Hell no, I'm
Then
not
you
here."
got me in all this
Oh
bright
my
ass light.
I thought the light was gonna lead me somewhere else. I'm here again. Ah,
That's also why
send me back.
when you exit at night, the energy is way more powerful in the dark. And that's also why the biggest power you can have, I know everybody's talking about superpowers. The biggest superpower to me, and this would be different for everybody else, could be that you can have is faith.
Mm.
Because that develops when you can't see. You can't see a better outcome. You in the dark.
That's a requirement.
Yeah, bird box. Cover your eyes up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking.
Yeah, it's protection in the darkness too. If you think about a butterfly, when it goes into a cocoon, in that dark place, it's protected. When you're in a dark space, you are vulnerable. So you have to be protected. And the fact that you can't see also means other people can't see you. Which is why when you first come into your spiritual journey, or when you're really getting more into your spiritual journey, we say, "Oh, I feel lonely and I'm losing everybody and I'm by myself and I feel like I'm just going through everything alone." Well, you have to, so that you can be protected. Why would you want somebody around you who is not good for you when you're in your most vulnerable state? When you're having surgery, that you can't have your family in a room with you while you getting operated on. It's doctors and designated personnel only. Everybody can't be in there when they got you cut open and your organs are exposed and you're at your most vulnerable state. And in darkness, you are going almost through surgery. You're going through a transformation. You're being, reformed in so many different ways and changed and elevated in so many different ways. But you're also in a super, super vulnerable place. For example, when you break a limb, you got to put a cast on. You don't want to put that cast on. It's big and it's bulky and it's all over the place. But inside that cast is your skin. Usually is a different shade because there's no light that can access it. But even though there's no light accessing it, it's in a vulnerable state. And that cast or that darkness is allowing it to heal without the things that are going on outside to affect it in any type of negative way. So darkness is imperative. We have to go through darkness. You should want, or in some ways, when you get on your journey to a certain extent, you start to like the challenges. You're like, "Ooh, a new challenge. I bet. Let me roll up my sleeves and get to going." Now I'm excited because now I want to see what else I can do. Now I'm about to learn something else about me that I didn't know. And after you get past all of the bullshit, it started to get fun. It's like, damn, I didn't know I was that confident. Damn, I didn't know I had the confidence to dress like this. Now you switch your whole wardrobe up. You would have never wore that shit a year ago. But now you've been through this dark period, you emerge, and people like, okay, they're looking at you different. They reacting differently to you because they didn't get to see you as you were going through that period. But now you're in the light. Now you're elevated and you're in a position where you're not vulnerable. You can handle yourself. Now everybody's looking at you like, "Oh, wow. Okay, well, what's that?" I love me a good challenge. And it's frustrating and it's annoying. and it can be a lot, but I know also that it has to end. That's the good thing about the darkness. Light has to come. There has to be balance. So I can't go through a dark phase forever. So what do I need to do to make this process go in my favor and operate in divine timing? I need to trust my intuition. I need to figure out what my triggers are, what my problems are, and start dealing with those things. I need to do my mirror magic, like my good sis said, and do my journaling and start getting to the root of all of these things that I didn't even know was there, because a lot of us, are unaware, which is why, again, we go through enlightenment so that we can shine light. That's what I call shadow work. Shadow, you got to be in the shadows. This stuff happens outside of the light. Everything that happens good for you to put you where you need to be happens outside of the light. So when we discover people like celebrities, when they first pop out, it may be new to us. We like, oh, where they come from? I ain't never heard of them before. But when they started talking about everything they was doing behind closed doors in the dark period, when they was nobody, quote unquote, to you, you'd be like, damn, oh, you've been working for 10 years at this? That's crazy. And you got people who will see you in your light and get jealous. And you're like, you don't even know I've been at this for 15 years. You don't even know. I've been going back and forth with myself, contemplated suicide, was thinking about this, was thinking about that, had all these things going on. You don't even know that I went through that. And you got the nerve to be jealous. You got the nerve to say, you want what I have? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Make sure that you're sure about that. Because if not, you can take on other people's darkness. And if their darkness is not yours, and then you dealing with theirs, you're not prepared for that. And that's what a lot of y'all do when you want to live other people's lives and operate in other people's gifts because you see them winning in their area. Now you want to go implicate or replicate, thank you, Spirit, what they're doing and act as if, you know, you're that's not what you're doing. Oh, I came up with this myself. Oh, I'm just being original. I'm just living in my truth. No, you're not. And you get further and further and further and deeper into a hole when you are operating in everybody else's truth but your own. So going through the darkness, it's hard, but you find you. And that's the light that you've always needed. That's the inner light that guides you to the outer light, because it starts within us. They called Jesus, well, Lucifer and Jesus were both called the light. And that's balance. Because one is supposed to be light energy, one is supposed to be dark energy. But both of them are referred to as light. That says a lot about that. A whole lot about that. Okay. One more question, then we out. If our life was written on our heels at birth, do we really have free will? Yeah. It's like if you think about this life as a job posting, right? This is what it is. This is the rules and the regulations. This is what we expect. This could be you. You can make this amount of money. You can have this type of success. You can accomplish these types of things. You can set these types of goals and accomplish these types of whatever. However, you have to be hired for the position and take on the position. Hey, Pooh, you got to be hired and take on the position, and agree. So you do have free will because you have to agree to it. It's Spirit is never going to force you to do anything. The Spirit is not going to come in and push you and make you and do. No, you don't have to do none of that. But if you do, this is what we have waiting for you. All of these beautiful things will be yours. And if you don't, you won't get anything. It's up to you. That's the free will in it. So yeah, it is a choice. You can either do it or don't.
It definitely is. So, we do have free will. Free will is just a little different according to what they teach us. You know what I mean? When we come into this thing, we have a decision to make. Like my good sis said, whether we gonna stay stuck or we gonna continue to elevate and save this room that we're supposed to be doing. And we move how we move. That's why repentance is not a real thing. Um, if it was, we would have karmic cycles. And if you choose not to, you will find life to be harder than that. So absolutely. Absolutely. So y'all know we love y'all. We want to thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. Make sure you hit that bell for us. Y'all, I'm drinking mugwort to detox, and I'm over here. I'm fine. But
We about to let her get a good old sleep in. Okay? Because I know she gonna be under the bed.
listen, I'm over here. I'm over here like this. Ooh, the cover call my name. But yeah, make sure if y'all want to give us any tips or donations or anything like that, it's never needed, only appreciated. You'll find
Absolutely.
both of our cash apps down here, or you can send it to the Throne Talk, uh, the podcast. Make sure you follow both of us on our social media handles. Listen, we love y'all wholeheartedly. Don't be ashamed to play this in your barbershops. Love you, love you. Play this in your barbershops, play this in your hair salons, play this at work on the TV screen and let people take notes. If y'all need us for anything, I know where to find us. And we are heading into April 19th, 420 weekend. We will be in Charlotte, North Carolina. Be sure to go. Be sure to go ahead and click on the flyer. Read that flyer thoroughly. You can send your paint and sip payment. It is 111. So you'll get the canvases, you'll get the paint, wine, and then we'll also have some finger foods there for you. So literally all you're doing is just bringing yourself. You
That's
still
it.
got time. Don't be afraid to hop into our group behind closed doors and go ahead and partner up with someone. There's a lot of ladies who just partnered up, got a room together. They just getting they meeting new people, and the vibes is the vibe. So
Absolutely.
come join us in Charlotte, North Carolina, y'all, and we are outside.
We love y'all. Bye.